Hey guys and girls, how's it going, and welcome back to another episode of the Diamond Gear with myself, Lewis. Hope you're brilliant, having yourself that great day as always. I've been busy playing around with blocks. My house currently looks a mess, but it's getting there, you know. I'm experimenting. Yes, we're doing some experimenting, and it's kind of starting to come together. I'm trying to figure out what blocks I want to use, and I really want to go with the whole Chisel setup, because Chisel adds some really funky blocks, like really cool blocks, and they're really cheap. So you just grab yourself your Chisel, you click on your guy, you put your stuff in there. Oh, it doesn't work with dirt, I guess. Let's go find ourselves something it works with. We can use some wood. You can see we've already got some blocks in here. Click on it, throw them in, and bam, gives you all the different alternatives that you can have with the Chisel, which is insane. So I've been playing with that and getting myself some funky looking things, and I've made this little farm up here, so I've got some food and whatnot. I'm slowly making my way through all of the seeds and getting all the bits and bobs together. We haven't really had much added to the pack in the last few days, but I have been making sure that updates and whatnot have been going through. And I basically started like a little spider diagram on I feel like I'm back at school, but I'm slowly working my way through and figuring out what mods and what I want where, and how I'm going to work out the HQM system and all these bits. So, you know, it's slowly coming together, but it's going to take some time to get it all updated and working. So this is going to be where we're going to play with some Botania, I believe, because that's something that we should probably have a go at. It's fairly new. I've never played with it before, and I keep getting asked to have a go at it, so we're going to have a play. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go around and grab yourself loads of these Botania flowers, and they all spawn randomly in the world all over the place. They're really easy to find. They really kind of spice up your world a little bit and make it look nice. You can see some of the pink ones over there, and we'll probably notice some more around us. There's some pinky things over there. There's lots of stuff going on. So you want to go around, you want to try and collect as many of those guys as you can, because you're going to want their petals. That's going to be a thing. Oh, let me just grab myself a pickaxe. There we go, you can carry on, and you're going to grab all of those guys, and the main thing that you can do with these is we can take their petals and do cool things with them. You can use them for dyes as well, which is fairly funky. So any of the colours represent a Minecraft dye, so if you just grab one like this guy and then we pop it in there, you can see that we get mystical purple petals, and then I believe the petals or whatnot can be used in a mortar and pestle to get you the required dye, which is kind of cool. I like the idea behind that. Oh, and it's getting a bit dark. Let's have a little sleepies. Yes. So before we can do anything with the flowers, we're going to need to make a new species. Yes, but well, really, before you do that, it's probably best that you make yourself your book. So I know the basics, but we'll go through it one step at a time. So we're going to want to make ourselves a book, which is our Botania guide, basically. So let's grab some leather and grab one of these. And then we're going to want a sapling. So let's grab ourselves a sapling. There we go, and a book, and that gives us the Lexica Botania, and this is going to give us everything we need to know about Botania. And how funky does that look when you open and close it? The actual book opens and closes. That is amazing. So cool. So the basics of it are telling you about Lexica Botania, mystical flowers. So around the world you may stumble upon a large variety of mystical flora. Spotting these doesn't take much work, as the flowers themselves emit a fair amount of shine. They come in a total of 16 different colours. It's also possible to grow these flowers using floral fertilizer. There we go. Flowers as far as the eye can see. Cool. These flowers can be plucked for mystical petals, can be used for making mystical instruments and plants alike. These petals can also be crushed into floral powder by the use of a pestle and mortar, which functions much alike any mundane piece of dye. Cool, there you go. So it shows you that you can get the different types of petals. There's the pestle and mortar, so a stick, some planks and a bowl, and then you'd crush them up and you'd get yourself your floral dyes of all the different types. So that's kind of cool. So let's look at what's next in here. So we want the Petal Apothecary. So in order for a botanist to create plant life that can do its bidding, one would need special means of infusing plants with mystical energy. Luckily, the Petal Apothecary does just that. So this is the Petal Apothecary. See that? This block, when placed in the world and given some water by the use of a water bucket, will accept any mystical petals thrown at it, releasing their energies. Once one has set the correct petals in, throwing some seeds in it will finalise the process. tossing in the full bucket will also fill the recipient with water. Alright, okay, so we're going to need to make ourselves one of these, which is called an apothecary. There we go. So one of these guys, a petal apothecary. So it's some stone and a petal, and I think we can use pretty much any petal we like. So let's go over to my little barrel over here, and we shall grab ourselves some stone. Yes, here we go. So we'll grab a load of this. Good stuff. Oh, that reminds me, let me go and show you something quickly as well, because my totem over here now has a fairly decent amount of power. Oh, and a tree just grew. So I've been leaving it a few days, it's been doing its job. I have used some of the power because I've been like testing bits and bobs here and there, but let's have a look in here. So we currently have 274 power, and let me show you something that's really, really funky. So if we take the top one out, and now that we've got enough in there, we can actually use the fly like a bat one. So if we throw that in there, we'll give it a second for it to take its effect, and then we'll see the effect on the left-hand side. Come on. There we go. Oh, on the right. Bat flight 2. So if I double jump, well, hey, I can fly around like a bat. How cool is that? And once you've obviously got the enchantment, you can fly around as much as you like. You don't need to be within the 10 block radius. You can fly around wherever you like. So I basically have 2 minutes of bat flight, which is awesome. But the only problem with it is it does use up a load of power, so you need to make sure that you've got a lot of stuff going on. But apparently there's going to be an update coming out soon, which is going to massively change how the totems and all of this work. So until that happens, I'm going to hang off and wait for the update, and then we'll get more involved with it. But there you go. So we basically looked at how it works and how to start yourself up. I think those sort of bits are staying the same. It's just going to be a lot more evolved. I like that word, evolved. It sounds good, doesn't it? Alright, so let's make ourselves one of these guys. So we need a petal apothecary. So we're going to need some of these bits, some cobblestone slabs. Let's grab some slabs. And we've got a petal around here, haven't we? So we'll throw those down like that, and our slabs and our petal, and that gives us a petal apothecary. Cool beans. Alright, let's go and throw this in the corner over here, I guess, and we'll fill it up with some water. So let's grab a bucket, and we'll grab some water, and we'll pop it. Oh, that wanted to go in there. There we go. We got some water inside our petal apothecary. Alright, so let's read on. Where do we go from here? So quite a few plants can be made by using this method. For more information, read on functional flora and generation flora. So we're going to want to make some generation flora so we can start getting ourselves some power. So let's have a look at generation flora. Okay, so petal apothecary. A pure daisy sounds kind of nice, so let's have a look at a pure daisy. The pure daisy is not only the most basic, but also the most important flower a botanist can have. This flower will purify any adjacent wood and stone blocks, as seen on the next page, into their purified counterparts, living wood and living rock, which can be used for crafting. Ah, there we go, so we can make these cool things. Living wood can be turned into twigs, alright. And white is bright and pure, so pure daisy. So we'd have to add 4 of these mystical white petals and a seed to our petal apothecary, and that will allow us to do the pure daisy. I wonder if that's the update where we can see the stuff. Yeah, look, if you look at anything, it actually brings up a little pointer on the screen. So there we go. So if we shift right click to read more, it will bring up the bit for the petal apothecary, and the same for the mystical flowers. Ah, very nice. Okay, right, so we're going to want to start making ourselves some power. It's going to be the first thing that we're really going to want to be able to do, isn't it? So, let's have a looky-see and see if we can find this thing. So, Wonder the Forest, Runicolor, Pure Daisy. We're going to want to go further back than that. So we're going to want generating flora. So a daybloom is probably where we're going to start for generating. So the daybloom is the most basic and rudimentary generating flower. Simply put it performs a modified photosynthesis process in order to transform sunlight into mana. The process is rather slow. You think half a dozen to 10 of these should get the job done for now. Alright, so to be able to do that, we're going to need a light blue petal, 2 yellow petals, and an orange petal. So yellow, orange, and blue. Alright, so we've got an orange, we've got yellow, and light blue. Alright, so let's throw these in here, and we'll get our petals. So we've got some 2 yellows, we've got an orange, and we've got blue. Lovely. And we need 2 yellows, don't we? So orange, blue, and 2 yellows. So let's throw these in here. So let's throw our orange in. There we go. 2 yellows and a blue. Alright, I think that could have done it. We're looking good. So now we just need to throw a seed in there. So let's go grab ourselves a seed. And I think it needs to be one of these. I don't think we can use really most seeds. So we'll grab a seed. And we'll chuck this in our petal apothecary. Poof! There we go. Got ourselves a day bloom. Lovely jubbly. Cool. So if we throw this guy down, let's put it... we'll just throw it here for the time being, I guess. Bam, like that. And the day bloom is going to go ahead and collect power, which is insanely cool, because we're going to want power to do most of the things. Alright, so the next thing we're going to want, so that we can see how much power we're actually generating inside these guys, how much mana we have, is we're going to need ourselves a Wand of the Forest, and this is going to require some pure daisies to be able to do that. So let's grab our pure daisies from here, there we go, and we'll get our mystical white petals. Ooh, let's have a quick sleep as well, so that all the bad guys don't get to come out. It's too early. How about now? Nope. How about now? There we go. We'll be able to see these guys and make our cool flowers. Alright, so let's have a look inside our lexicon Botania. So we need to make ourselves a living wood twig, and living wood twigs are made by adding a white one of these guys around a load of wood, and that does the trick for us. And that's 4 mystical white petals will give us one of these white flowers. So let's go and grab our water. Here we go, and we'll pop it in there. And we want these guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to want some seeds, aren't we? So let's go grab ourselves some more seeds up here with all my wheat. Cool beans. And we'll chuck them in. We should be able to get our mystical white flower. Poof. There we go. Alright, so we got a pure daisy. Lovely jubbly. And now we're going to want to use this to make some fairly funky stuff. How much wood have we got? We got 8 wood. That's going to do the trick. So let's do this out here. So we're going to want to throw down our pure daisy, and that's probably going to have to be on the grass so that we can do that. I don't know if we can put them down here. No, it's going to have to be on the grass. Alright, we'll throw it... we'll throw it here. There we go. And we'll get our oak wood, and we'll pop it around like this. And what you're going to notice is the wood's going to start kind of sparkling. There you go, you can see all sparkling. And what it's going to do, after a little bit of time, it's going to turn it into living wood. But it does take a minute or two to do that. So I'm going to wait for that to do its changing, and we'll be back to make ourselves our Wand of the Forest. Oh, here we go. We can see it changing. Hey, that looked really cool when it changed as well. It kind of like exploded into living wood. It's coming alive. Alright, let's grab this guy out, so we don't need that anymore. And we'll take our heavy axe. So let's go and grab our living wood. And remember, you can do the same with the stone as well to get yourself living stone, which is pretty funky. And we will need some of that later on, but not yet. Now, we're going to turn this into some twigs, I believe. And we're going to make ourselves this cool rod. So let's see how we do the twigs. There we go. So it's a living wood twig. So we're probably going to need a few of those. And actually, how many of these do we need? We're going to want... let's go back. There we go. So we need 3 of these and some petals. Alright. That's kind of cool. So 3 of those. And as far as the petals go, you can use whichever one you like, which is pretty funky stuff. So I think I'm going to use a orange one and a purple one. That looks pretty cool. We can have a light blue one to add a little bit of flair to it. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright. Okay, cool. So we've got this guy. So now we can go around and we can click on stuff. So you can see now Day Bloom says unknown status. If we click on it, you can see that now the bar is full. So it means that we've got loads of power inside our Day Bloom. If I was to pick it up and pop it back down, you now see that we barely have any mana. And if we keep clicking it, you'll see that it's starting to fill up with lovely mana. Now, the Day Blooms are extremely inefficient. There are much better ones you can get, but to start yourself off, that's what you're going to want. So the next thing you probably want to know is, how do you use this mana? How do we collect it and store it into stuff? Well, this is the real funky part behind Botania, this is. Because this is where we start looking at the uses of mana. So if we go back and we have a look at mana manipulation. So the first thing that we're going to probably want is going to be the mana spreader. So if we have a look at the mana spreader, the mana spreader is the most important component in manipulating mana. This is the block that allows mana to travel from a point A to point B. When this block is placed on the ground, it will face one of the 6 basic directions. By shift right-clicking it with a Wand of the Forest, one can orient it to the opposite of where it was clicked. Cool. Alright, so how do we make this guy? So we need living wood, we need a petal, and we need some gold. Alright, that kind of sounds pretty cool. So I'm going to need more living wood, aren't I? Alright guys, so I'm going to get some more living wood together, and we'll make some of these funky guys and start transporting our mana. Alright, so I've gone and grabbed myself a load more flowers. I've got my living wood, and I've made some living rock, which is the same you do with the living wood and the pure daisy, except you put stone around it, and that gives you your awesome looking pure rock. So we're going to need all of this. I've got some more flowers so I can make myself another one of the day blooms. So let's quickly check this out. So it's 2 yellows, an orange, and a blue. Alright, so let's get some yellows. Oh, there we go. 2 yellows, a orange, and a light blue. Cool beans. Let's throw this in here. And we're going to want our bouquet again, aren't we? So let's go grab all this. I might just throw this rubbish in here quickly so we got a bit of space to do all the things we need to do. There we go. Let's grab my bouquet. Cool beans. Alright, so it was 2 yellows, an orange, and a blue. There we go. Are they in there doing their thing? They are. And some seeds. Lovely jubbly. 2 day blooms. Alright. So, we've got most of the bits and bobs that we need. Remember, we're going to need our spreader, aren't we? So, let's grab some gold. Here we go. Oh, I only want 1 bit. Thank you very much. And we'll churn it up. Cool beans. And then we'll get it all cooked. Ready for this guy. Now, we're also going to make ourselves a little pool. A mana pool, which is going to allow us to house the energy or the mana that we make from our day blooms. Yeah. And once we've got a decent amount of power, we'll start looking into different types of generating flowers that we can have, because there's quite a few different types. Alright, so let's make our way out over here. We probably should make these guys first as well. So it was the living wood and our gold and a petal. No. Alright, let's check this guy out. So I want to go back to here. Mana manipulation. Mana spreader. It was alright, gold ingot and a petal. Alright. So gold and a petal gives us a mana spreader. Lovely jubbly. So we've got one of those, and we're going to want a mana pool, and I wonder if that's like that. It is. Cool. 1 mana pool. Alright, so let's go and throw these down. I'm going to make a little area just for that. I don't want to put it over there because it's a bit cramped. So we'll do it over here for the time being, because it's we've got a bit more space to be playing with. So we're just going to place them down here, and we're going to start getting our mana together. So let's get our day blooms. There we go. And obviously if we touch them with our Wand of the Forest, we'll see that they're starting to generate power. They don't generate much, but, you know, they generate enough. So that's going to do that. And now we're going to put down our mana spreader. And we're probably going to put it around here, I'm going to go with. There we go. 1 mana spreader. Lovely jubbly. You can see these doing his thing. And he's currently shooting his mana in that general direction, which we don't really want. You can see the cool greeny effects. They look pretty funky, don't they? But we don't want it going over that way. We want this guy going over this way. And another cool thing you can do as well is when you click on or you look at any of the generating flowers, it will show what they're actually generating to. So at the minute you can see that the mana spreader has this cool box around it. When I look at those, that means that they're transferring to that guy. That's why they've currently got no mana inside them. So we're going to want this mana to come over here. So we're going to move it around. There we go. And let's keep going. So these guys are spreading their power, and we want them to go into something. So we're going to have it go into one of these guys, a mana pool. So let's pop this guy down like that. There we go. And what we should hopefully find is this guy is going to shoot its power into our mana pool. But we need it facing that mana pool. That's going to be the main thing. So let's see if we can just move it around. Just a tad. Alright, there we go. I had to move the day bloom to get it facing the right way, but it's now facing the right way. And it's going into our guy over here, our mana pool. And now that it's doing that, you can see that we have mana inside our pool. Look at that cool little pool of mana-iness. Doesn't it look cool? And if we click on it now, you can see that we're starting to get power in there. So, accepting power from items, which means it's accepting power from this guy. You can see the cool effects, all of these nice sparkly guys going over into our mana pool. And it's going to just keep doing that. So these day blooms are going to process their power and make mana during the daytime, and then it's going to go into our mana pool. So one thing you're going to notice from Botania is there's no cables, there's no wires, nothing like that. It was designed very much around the fact that those guys are overdone, and you can see as well that the mana spreader is sending the items over into there because it lights up. It's the same with the day blooms. They'll show you what they're sending their power to, so that's showing it sending into the pool, that's showing them going into the mana spreader. There we go. So the next thing really is to start making loads of these mana-y pools and getting loads of power going in and getting as much mana as you can, because we're going to need to start making ourselves some mana ingots, some of the mana infused petals, and I don't think we have enough mana in there at the minute. Let's have a look. I doubt it. No, we don't at the minute. But you can make the better petals by dropping them in there, but we barely have any mana in there at all to be doing that sort of stuff. So let's go have a little sleepies, and then we'll check out some of the different types of generating flowers. We're probably going to do that in the next episode, but let's at least pick the one that we want to go down the road with next. So there are a couple of different types to be playing with, which is kind of cool, and they all have different effects. So if we go back out of here, there we go, and we want to have a look at the generating flora. So we have Daybloom, Endoflame, Hydrangeus, Munchdew, which sounds amazing, Nightshade, Rosa Arcana, and Thermalily. Endoflame, I think, is a pretty good one. So while the Daybloom is all well and good, a Botanist requires more effective means of generating mana. The Endoflame does that exactly. It will absorb any combustible items or blocks dropped on nearby vicinity, albeit only one at a time, and burn through them to passively generate mana while the fuel lasts. So there is a small caveat though. The Endoflame will not burn anything that returns a byproduct. An example are lava buckets that have empty buckets as a byproduct. Alright, so if we was going to do that, then we would need to make these. So we'd need a brown petal, a red petal, a light grey petal. We'd then need some of these brown mana petals and a red mana petal. So the mana petals were like I was showing you earlier. To be able to make those guys, you need to take them and put them inside the mana pool. But I don't think at the minute we have enough power to be doing that. It does take some time for it to get itself going, and you're going to want a lot more than 2 day blooms to get yourself started. Let's see if we can get it doing its thing just yet. I don't think we're going to be able to. No, they're not looking very happy. Plus, we've barely got any in there at the minute. Let's have a look. Yeah, we're just scratching the surface. That's a thing. Alright guys, well that's probably going to be that for this episode. We've started getting ourselves together. I'm going to spend the next day getting myself loads of these day blooms together and setting up a decent mana spreader network so that we can start moving the power from here to there. And I think that's probably going to be it. We're going to have a start getting really into our Botania and playing with that, because I can see that helping us out with a lot of our farming chores and whatnot. And who knows, maybe by then the Totemic would have been updated and we can start looking at some of the changes of that, because there's some funky stuff going on, so I'm pretty excited. Alright guys, I'll see you soon for another episode. Have yourself a great day. Have a good one as always, and goodbye.